What's up guys, Metal571 here, and today we're going to be taking a look at the Sennheiser Momentum 2 over-ear. This is the wired version and the over-ear version, not the wireless one. So what's this for? This is a portable over-ear dynamic headphone. It's only 18 ohms. It's designed to plug into your mobile device and offer you some enjoyable closed-back listening on the go. So this is definitely not a pro-focused headphone. I've reviewed a lot of audiophile grade stuff, very high-end open backs and more $100 range closed backs, and a lot of it has been studio equipment. Not this. This is more of a consumer-focused headphone that just plugs into your phone and lets you listen to music. It's nothing that's trying to be like a pro piece of equipment. Of course, and if you're watching this review, you might already own a Beats and wondering how the Sennheiser compares. I don't have a Beats on hand, but I can tell you that there's a significant difference in sound, which I'm going to get to in a little bit, as I always do. But I think that as far as the hardware goes, the build quality, you've got genuine leather memory foam pads on this one, which is really nice. Like if you press down here, you can see it maintains its shape, slowly comes back, very comfortable. A headband, same kind of thing. Headband actually has a bit of padding here, if I can angle it correctly. But there is some padding there. There's some padding at the top too, and there's use of metal here on the sides, and so it's really well constructed. Definitely classy looking. I think it's one of the best looking headphones out there. B&O H6 is probably up there as well. Never reviewed those, but I've seen them, and man, they are. They are really nicely machined. This is a this comes with a removable cable. So I have the Android version. I'm not sure what the iOS version looks like, but basically on this cable, and I think the other one works the same way. You put it in here, and then you push it in until you feel it. Now this is important because a lot of people are gonna put it in here and then twist it, and then there's no sound. Then we're like, oh my god, it's broken. It's not. You have to put it in here, then you have to push it in, and then once you've got it lined up, it pushes in, you hear it click, and then you can turn it, and then it's locked, and now it won't come out anymore. So this cable has a remote on it, and a microphone is built into this as well. So you get volume down, volume up. On my Pixel XL, if you press the middle button, it pauses and plays. If you double click it, it goes to the next track. And if you hold it down, it'll operate Google Assistant or Google Now, that kind of thing. And yeah, so because it's got a mic, you've got this type of connector here, TRRS, I believe that's called. So you've got stereo plus a mic, all analog though. And we'll be doing a mic test a little later on in the video, because this is one of the first, maybe one of the only headphones I've reviewed that after I've gone to my audiophile review phase of the channel that has a microphone on it. So of course you're probably wondering what the mic sounds like. I'm going to plug into a couple sources and I'll show you. But first we're going to talk about comfort and hardware. And speaking of comfort, these ear pads, even though they look really comfortable, this opening is like just big enough to fit people's ears in. And I think if you have larger ears like me, it might feel a little odd. And I think that, interestingly enough, although it seems like it just barely fits ears, it actually isn't that bad in terms of comfort. But I think some of you might be annoyed by it, so I would try these on. You can find these pretty easily at your local Best Buy. A lot of them have, if you have a Magnolia section in particular, you can find these and demo them and see how they feel. They might feel a little strange in the store. I'm going to say that you do get kind of used to them over time. I've been using these for about almost 2 weeks now, so I know how they feel. And they didn't really bother me once I got used to the comfort. But yeah, the pads themselves really isolate sound quite well, really quite well. This is not an IEM, but it does a really good job for passive isolation, and comfort was not that bad. But yeah, it's worth noting that even though these are considered over-ear, they're really just barely big enough to be considered exactly in that category. So now let's talk about everyone's favorite part, the sound. Yeah, they sound good. No, I'm just kidding, guys. Come on, don't stress out. This is Metal571 reviews. We're not a big channel here. We don't say the sound is good. We talk about each component of it. So let's talk about the bass first. The bass is slightly emphasized. Now, let me translate that to beats. There's none. But in terms of this headphone, the bass is only slightly emphasized above what a flat line would be on a graph. So like 1 or 2 dB above that. It's there. It goes really low. It exists. The problem is it's very one-note sounding. Like if you listen to EDM on this thing, it was just immediately noticeable. It's just like bam, 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 bam. Like even like bass lines that are supposed to like shift their fundamental frequency among a number of different regions of the bass, it kind of just molds all together and sounds like the same sound. So it's not particularly detailed fast bass, but I mean it exists and it goes low, and I guess that's okay for a portable that's only an 18 ohm dynamic driver. It's not that bad, but I'm just saying that's what I'm hearing. So that's what it is. And there's also a little bit of a dip around 200 to 300 hertz, so you get a little bit of a scoop in the upper bass, but it didn't really bother me that much. And I mean, for this price, it's sort of excusable, although I wish the bass was a little bit more detailed. The mid-range is a little bit forward here. This is kind of gives this headphone kind of has that usual Sennheiser sound where it's a bass that exists but is not really like too north of neutral, if at all. It's kind of like a mid-bassy thing, and then the mids are slightly forward and the trebles relax, and it's got that sound. So the mids are a little bit forward here. They're a little bit forward, about 3K. I pulled them down by about 2 dB, and you'll see that on my EQ profile that I always post in every headphone review. I don't think it's that annoying. It depends on the kind of music you listen to. If you listen to metal all the time, you'll probably be pretty annoyed, especially if you crank these up. The guitars will really eat at you, and I don't know. Some people like that. I'm not a big fan. I want them to be more balanced in the frequency response. So keep that in mind. If you're a big EDM fan or whatever, you'll have no problem, because like most of the EDM songs and pop songs are mastered with a lot of bass and treble, so the mids being a little bit forward is okay. It kind of makes up for that. But if you listen to a lot of music that's with guitar or poorly mastered, I feel like the harshness could be annoying. So that's what I think about the mids. I mean, they're not particularly fast, not super detailed, but again, for this price range, it's not too bad. This is funny that I'm reviewing this right after an Odyssey, which is, it's kind of difficult to get my head back into this kind of price range of sound, but I'd say that the mids are all right, but I think they're just a little bit forward, and it might bug people a little bit. The treble is quite dark, quite relaxed. There's really no sibilance here, no obvious peaks. It's just chill, and it may be too dark. Some people will definitely call it boring, definitely call it dull. The treble exists. I brought out some of the air with some EQ. It comes up, but it's not, again, amazing resolution or something crazy. Sennheiser is all on their website. They're like, ooh, super high resolution 18 ohm driver, and it's okay. It's okay. It's definitely not fatiguing, and that's a good thing, because we don't want, this is a consumer focused headphone. We don't want people to have to deal with things like HD800 treble here. No. So it's relaxed, it's boring, it's chill. It's nothing crazy. So the overall presentation here, your bass is a little bit above neutral, which is, again, translated to beats 0. The mids are a little bit boosted, and the treble is really rolled. So, kind of a syrupy smooth sound, but not a particularly large amount of detail or speed going on here. The isolation, very, very good though. Turning on music and like clamping them against your leg, which is kind of like my thing. I don't know why, for judging how well they keep sound in. It's really much better than average, and that's what you want for a portable headphone. You don't want to bug people too much listening to your Slayer. So you have that, which is nice. So it doesn't miss the mark on isolation, but just don't expect, again, IEM-like isolation. It only pretty much isolates from the mids and the highs from your environment. And soundstage, really not that much to speak of here. It's kind of small. It's closed in. I mean, it's a closed back that's like $200 or $230. If you're paying around that price, I think it's okay for a portable not to have an awesome soundstage. If it sounds like I have a lukewarm opinion of the sound of this thing, it's because I do. It's really not quite all there for the price that I think Sennheiser is charging here. And that's the big point I want to get across here. If you can find this headphone for $100, $150, something like that, you got a great option here. You got a great option here, especially if you're really picky like me and you have to EQ everything that comes through. there's only a little bit of EQ required to get this thing to sound, decent, especially for that price. I think that's a good deal. But when they're charging $200, $250, $300 for this thing, maybe you can justify it by saying, okay, it looks really good, because it does. It's built really well, because it is. And it's also portable, so you can drive it with your phone, which is also true. It depends on what you're really looking for. Like, is class more important than the sound quality? If so, yeah, definitely $200, absolutely. But I think the sound itself is worth somewhere between $100 and $150. I think that some of that is because of the impedance. This is only an 18 ohm dynamic closed back, so it's gonna have some problems with speed, generally speaking. Low impedance headphones just do not have the snap that high impedance ones do, but you have to keep the impedance low and the sensitivity high in order to run them off a phone. So there's that aspect. So again, I'd say $100 to $150. I would go on eBay. I would look for a pair of these. I would spend that amount if you're looking for a closed back portable that's over ear, and that's what I would do. I wouldn't buy these new. $300. I'm not a big fan of that. That's pretty expensive. They're running around $230 on Amazon. I still think that's pretty pricey for what you get. The only thing I left out, this is out of order of the usual order of the videos, is you get a case with this thing, and it's a nice case. Hello, I am a case. This is a pretty soft material. Kind of feels like faux suede or something like that. There's a zipper, it opens up, and you can put a cable in here. That's just a rubber band sitting there. So, easily portable in that way. And also, one more hardware feature, this folds. That was a very poor job folding there. So it folds like that, and adjustment to your head is done by sliding the ear cup like this. So, those are the side notes. So, again, overall, it's expensive for what it is if you're buying it new, but if you're buying it used, I think this is a really good option, and you should check it out. But I would still, again, be careful with the comfort thing. I would try it first at your local store or buy it from somewhere you can return. And that, my friends, is the Sennheiser Momentum 2 over ear. Stay tuned for more reviews coming soon. And leave a comment on what you think and like the video if you liked it. I'm just being a normal YouTuber here. See you guys. Hey guys, here's a microphone test of the Sennheiser Momentum 2. I'm recording to my Pixel XL, and I'll link the app I used to do this in the description.